It seemed that Gohan had indeed defeated Cell, but no, he reappears, ending with Goku's death, and even helping Gohan from the other world. And what if I told you this is happening again now? Cell Max returns, but this time with a mentality, and he will ally with Frieza in his new plan. Still doubtful? I'll prove it to you. This video is insane, so don't waste time. Run and subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and activate the notification bell. For many years, there has been talk of a possible protagonism for Gohan, and this movie itself was the real test. When Dragon Ball Superhero was announced, the initial reaction from fans was mixed. Many were excited simply because a new movie from the franchise was coming to theaters, but others showed some apprehension, mainly due to Toei Animation's bold choice to use CGI animation instead of the traditional 2D style that had marked the series for decades. However, what nobody expected was that this film, focused on Gohan and Piccolo, characters who usually don't get the main spotlight, would become one of the biggest successes in franchise history in terms of box office. The film was officially released in Japan in June 2022 and shortly after premiered in several countries, including the United States, Brazil, and other nations in Latin America and Europe. In the first days, especially in Japan, the revenue was solid, around $20 million, already putting it in a prominent position among the year's animations. But the real impact came with the US premiere. In its North American opening weekend, Superhero ranked first at the box office, something few expected for a Japanese animated film dubbed in English. In total, just in the US and Canada, the film grossed about $38 million, an extremely significant number for a production that initially seemed modest. The worldwide response was equally positive. Latin American countries, where Dragon Ball has always had a very loyal fan base, embraced the film enthusiastically. In Brazil, for example, the reception was warm and the box office contributed significantly to the over $90 million grossed globally. With this, Dragon Ball Superhero became the second most successful film of the franchise, losing only to Dragon Ball Super Broly, which had grossed about $115 million in its time. What makes this success even more remarkable is the narrative focus of the work. Instead of following the more obvious path of bringing Goku and Vegeta as central protagonists, the production dared to place Gohan at the center of the action. This hadn't happened since the Cell saga, where Gohan, still a child, was the key piece for saving the planet. Now, more mature, he faced a new challenge directly linked to the legacy of the Red Ribbon Army, the same group responsible for creating androids in the past. Piccolo was also elevated to a new level, gaining an unprecedented transformation, and showing again his importance as a master, warrior, and strategist. This creative choice had a double effect. On one hand, the old fans felt rewarded, seeing Gohan finally getting the spotlight he deserved. On the other, new viewers could experience a different Dragon Ball, valuing less explored heroes without giving up the grand battles and powerful transformations the franchise is known for. Compared to Dragon Ball Super Broly, which still holds the title of the most profitable, the difference lies more in the global impact and surprise factor. The Broly film brought spectacular hand-drawn animation that enchanted audiences and reintroduced Broly officially into the series canon. Also, it involved Goku and Vegeta in an epic battle marked by fusions, destroyed planets, and a wild Broly with frightening power. It was a sure recipe, combining nostalgia, frantic action, and impeccable visuals. Broly was released at a time when the hype for the new Dragon Ball phase was still very high, which boosted the box office strongly. Superhero had the challenge of keeping interest alive after some years without new animated content, and still managed to exceed expectations. The big difference between the two films, besides the animation style, is the narrative approach. While Broly was constant and frantic action, Superhero was more restrained, more emotional, and focused on character development. This gave the film a different tone, more mature, more intimate, but still leaving room for big explosive moments, especially in the final scenes, where Gohan releases his new form, known as Beast Gohan, something that electrified fans and put his name back among the strongest warriors in the universe. The financial return was a direct reflection of the fan base loyalty and the creative boldness of the team. Even with initial distrust, because of the CGI and the absence of the traditional protagonists for much of the film, the project proved to be a huge success. With the financial result in hand and the positive public response, Toei Animation realized there is still plenty of room to explore side stories, old characters, and new approaches within the Dragon Ball universe. Super Hero proved that Gohan still has strength, not only in battles, but in the hearts of fans. It showed that Piccolo can evolve and surprise, and more than that, it made clear that Dragon Ball doesn't always need to rely on Goku and Vegeta to succeed, as long as the story is well built, respectful of the legacy, and creatively daring. The franchise can keep growing and surprising, and now bringing it to the future, just like in Dragon Ball Z, but in Super Hero 2, Cell returns, but not the way we know him. Now he is Perfect Cell Max, a much more advanced and powerful version of the original. This new version was designed using not only the original cells, but also cells from Goku and Vegeta, collected during their battle against Gas by a mysterious robot. Now Cell Max has the cells of two of the strongest warriors in the universe, including Gas's as well. This evolution of Cell is not just a matter of raw power. With the Saiyan cells and Gases, he also inherits the ability to become stronger after each battle. That means every defeat only makes Cell Max more powerful and harder to beat. The mix of his regenerative abilities with the power to evolve beyond the normal makes him a formidable opponent. So the more battles, the stronger he becomes. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta are out of the universe, which means the protection of Earth falls on Gohan's shoulders. This is the perfect moment for Gohan to shine, and maybe even surpass his own limits. Imagine a situation where Gohan is on the verge of losing control in a battle against Cell Max. This moment of near despair could be the key for him to unlock a new power level, reaffirming his role as Earth's protector. And this time he could prove he can defeat an enemy alone, without Goku, without Piccolo, just him. This narrative not only puts Gohan in the spotlight, but also reintroduces Cell with a mind even more dangerous and strategic. It's as if the first Cell was reborn, but with an even deadlier design. And to add more tension to the story, it would then be possible a union between Cell Max and Frieza. What do you think about that? If this is confirmed, we would be looking at an alliance that could challenge even the most powerful warriors of Universe 7. Not only theirs, but also from others. Imagine the scene: Cell Max and Frieza, side by side, planning their domination while Gohan fights to protect Earth. The pressure on Gohan would be immense, but it would also serve as an opportunity for him to show all his strength and leadership ability. This final confrontation could be epic, showing not only the evolution of the characters, but also the depth of their strategies and determination. While Cell Max continues to grow in power, Gohan must find a way to overcome him. This will not be just a physical battle, but also one of intelligence and strategy. Gohan will have to use everything he learned from Goku, Piccolo, and even Vegeta to defeat this new enemy. Cell Max, on the other hand, is not just a physical threat. With the mind of the original Cell, he is incredibly cunning and manipulative. He can predict his opponent's moves and use their weaknesses against them. This would make every encounter an intense fight, where every mistake can be fatal. And we can't forget the possible alliance with Frieza. Frieza, always the strategist, sees in Cell Max a powerful ally and an opportunity to finally get revenge on Goku and his friends. This alliance would bring a new level of challenge for our heroes, forcing them to work together in ways they never imagined. Meanwhile, the absence of Goku and Vegeta is a crucial point in the plot. They are outside the universe, perhaps on a mission of vital importance that prevents them from returning. This leaves Earth vulnerable and puts a huge responsibility on Gohan. He must prove he is worthy of being Earth's protector, not only in the eyes of his friends and family, but also to himself. At the climax of the story, we imagine Gohan facing Cell Max in a final battle. He is at the edge of his strength, almost succumbing to the pressure. But it is at this moment that he finds a new source of power within himself, something that takes him beyond any limit he has ever known. This transformation would be a decisive moment, showing that he is capable of carrying the Scion's legacy and protecting Earth against any threat. And then who knows, a beast form too, or final form, it would be epic. And since they already brought this nostalgia for Goku back at the Tournament of Power, maybe now with Gohan as well. With Gohan reaching new power levels, the battle against Cell Max intensifies. The confrontation is epic, with large-scale destruction and impressive demonstrations of strength and skill. While Gohan fights, he receives support from his allies, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks. These characters also have their moments of prominence, showing that the defense of Earth is a collective effort, even though Gohan wants to prove himself. But certainly he won't come alone. Maybe Cell Max Jr.'s this time. Just like in Dragon Ball Z's golden era, who knows? Or maybe just Frieza's army. Cell Max, now with the mind of his predecessor, uses clever strategies to pressure Gohan and his allies. He manipulates the environment, uses deceptive tactics, and forces Gohan to think quickly and constantly adapt. The tension is palpable. Every move could be the last. Gohan faces a moral dilemma. He is tempted to use all his power, even if that means risking losing control, just as he used what was necessary to break Goku's superior instinct, and said he went to the limit of what he could bear there. I know he will do the same, but his limiter is growing with every battle and every training. But would that be enough to defeat Cell? He, as a good learner that he is, would surely remember the teachings of his mentors and find a way to channel his strength in a controlled manner. This moment of clarity allows him to reach a new form of power, one that combines his intelligence and willpower with the pure energy of the Scions. Not only that, but his family and his daughter Pan, and all those who now depend on him would give him even greater strength. At the height of the battle, the alliance between Cell Max and Frieza reveals itself as a desperate maneuver. Frieza, always calculating, sees that teaming up with Cell Max may not be the best strategy, and begins to question his own motivations. This internal tension creates an opportunity for Gohan and his allies to exploit weaknesses in their enemy's alliance. In the end, Gohan's victory is a moment of triumph, not only for him, but for all who believed in him. He proves he is capable of protecting Earth, even against overwhelming threats. Goku and Vegeta return, finding a stronger and more confident Gohan, a true protector of Earth. But keeping in mind that Frieza only observed all this, as if it were just a test for Gohan, or to see how far he had come. Could this be part of his plans? Who knows? The future may dictate this same rhythm. This powerful narrative not only highlights Gohan's evolution as a character, but also opens doors for future stories in the Dragon Ball universe. The introduction of new villains, unexpected alliances, and the continuous evolution of the heroes keep the series exciting and full of possibilities. In the Dragon Ball universe, we have always had memorable villains, and Cell is undoubtedly one of the most iconic. And along with this icon, another icon was born, being Gohan in his Super Saiyan 2 form, who also defeated him, with Goku's help at that time. Many believed that would be the last time we'd see this villain. However, as we know, in Dragon Ball nothing is as definitive as it seems. Just like Frieza, Cell also returned. In Dragon Ball Super, Superhero as Cell Max, who was also defeated by Gohan, this time with Piccolo's help, but with a new form, the Beast form. Dragon Ball Super. Superhero is a film centered on a new emerging threat and characters we all love. The story revolves around the Red Ribbon Army, an organization long defeated by Goku. However, it resurfaces with new and dangerous androids, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, who have the mission to face the Z Warriors. The plot unfolds with Piccolo and Gohan taking central roles to face this new threat. Piccolo discovers the Red Ribbon Army's plan and trains hard, while Gohan, who has been focusing on his academic life, is called back into action to protect his family and the planet. The Gamma androids are presented as heroes in the eyes of society, but have nefarious intentions. Throughout the story, Gohan and Piccolo face intense challenges and battles against these new androids. The action culminates in epic fights, where the protagonists show all their strength and evolution. The film highlights the importance of friendship, teamwork, and determination to overcome adversity. Dragon Ball Super. Superhero is full of exciting moments, impressive fights, and the return of beloved characters. It also brings a new perspective on Gohan's role as one of Earth's main defenders, reinforcing his potential as a warrior. Using this as a basis, we understand why a second film and a reintroduction of Cell with his memory would be really cool.